After an interdimensional journey caused by his own mistake, Jake, a daring and professional pilot, finds himself in a completely different world and encounters a beautiful woman named Mira, an alluring and enigmatic figure with strange powers. Jake and Mira quickly grow close, forming a connection that transcends even dimension. Together, they uncover secrets that could affect both worlds, forcing Jake to choose between his love for Mira or saving them.
In a not-so-distant future, Earth had become an echo of what it once was, devastated and uninhabitable. Human civilization, in its relentless pursuit of progress, had crossed all boundaries, leading to a collapse that swept away cities and dreams. What was once a vibrant home had now turned into a barren desert, and the few remaining members of the human species were seeking refuge in a space colony floating in the far reaches of the solar system. This place, called Nova Gaia, was a symbol of hope but also of survival, where rigid rules and scarce resources shaped daily life. It was in this struggle for survival that Jake, a transport pilot, carried out his daily missions, delivering supplies and news between the various communities in the colony. Jake had always had a passion for exploration and the freedom that space provided. The vastness of the cosmos made his heart race, and each journey through the expansive sky was a temporary escape from the monotony of life in Nova Gaia. However, at the same time, he felt there was something more out there, something waiting to be discovered. On one of his missions, Jake received the seemingly simple task of transporting a shipment of supplies to one of the most distant colonies. But what he did not know was that this journey would change his destiny forever. As he navigated through an asteroid field, Jake detected anomalies on his control panel. A peculiar glow appeared before him, leading to an unexpected detour. Curious and simultaneously driven by an uncontrollable desire to discover what lay ahead, he approached the mysterious phenomenon. It was then that he realized he was facing a pulsating interdimensional portal, a passage between realities that challenged everything he knew. Without hesitation, Jake allowed himself to be swept away, crossing the portal and emerging in a world he never dreamed existed. This new plane of existence was vibrant and breathtaking, a place where colors and sounds danced in harmony. But there, in the midst of the unknown, Jake felt a presence. He would never have imagined that this dimension was not merely a physical space, but also a home for incredible and enigmatic beings. And so he met Mira, an alien of ethereal beauty and unimaginable power. Her eyes, like two stars amidst the vastness of space, reflected the essence of this new dimension. Mira possessed abilities that Jake could not fully comprehend, but what intrigued him most was her capacity to manipulate time. In their conversations, she explained that each action had its consequences, and that time, like a river, could be shaped and redirected. Despite their differences, an undeniable connection formed between them. Jake found himself captivated by Mira's wisdom and the way she viewed the world, with hope and curiosity, traits he believed he had lost amidst the despair of his civilization. As Jake and Mira navigated the breathtaking and enigmatic world, unraveling its temporal mysteries, Mira revealed a profound truth. Every choice rippled across time, shaping destinies in unforeseen ways. Let me ask you something, explorer of worlds. If you had the power to manipulate time, would you use it to change the past, reshape the future, or preserve the present? Imagine the responsibility and the cost. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might just illuminate the choices Jake must make as he confronts his own crossroads. Jake's thoughts churned as Mira's words echoed in his mind. Every decision carried weight, and as he looked at her, he realized that time itself was testing not just his resolve but the depth of their bond. As they explored the wonders of that dimension together, Jake and Mira began to fall in love. But their love was not simple. They were entangled in an intricate web of temporal mysteries that, if not understood, could have devastating consequences. Their conversations deepened, revealing each other's secrets, including the fears and desires they had regarding the future. However, a shadow loomed over them, a reality Jake needed to face. The past he had left behind in Nova Gaia still haunted him. As their relationship developed, Jake extracted secrets from Mira about her reality. He learned that the society she lived in sustained itself through the misfortune of others. Those who failed in their existential missions were consumed, feeding an endless cycle of suffering and pain. This revelation was a profound shock for Jake. He soon realized the connection between his own civilization and this new dimension. As he tried to understand the approaching catastrophe, Jake found himself torn. He could have been part of the solution or, inadvertently, the cause of its collapse. The weight of the dilemma grew as the days passed. Jake struggled between the desire to stay by Myra's side and the need to return to his dimension, where he knew suffering was intensifying. In his mind, the echo of his civilization called to him, reminding him of what was at stake. His heart raced with each new glimpse of Mira, but the darkness of the reality he knew did not dissipate. He wanted to believe that he could build a better future by her side, but the cost could be too high. As Jake and Mira explored the dimension, he began to realize that manipulating time was not a skill to be used lightly. Every action had consequences, and each time Jake set aside his role as a spokesperson for his civilization, the suffering of others resonated louder. Jake was faced with a difficult choice: save his civilization or embrace the new life he had discovered with Mira. With this in mind, a plan began to form in his mind. As weeks turned into months, the relationship between Jake and Mira grew in depth and complexity. They became increasingly close, unraveling each new temporal mystery that presented itself. Jake began to understand the true nature of Myra's power, and she explained how each decision could alter both the present and the future. With each lesson she imparted, Jake found himself more and more captivated while also becoming aware of the burden his choice would bring. One night, while contemplating the starry sky of the new world, Jake had a chilling vision of his future. He saw images of Nova Gaia, devastated and lost, its society seemingly doomed to ruin. However, he also saw flashes of a life alongside Mira, filled with possibilities and freedom. The dilemma became increasingly agonizing, and Jake needed to confront this choice head-on. Awakening his human potential to shape reality became a fervent desire in his heart. However, a disturbing aspect lingered in his mind: how would his presence in that dimension affect his original reality? As his feelings for Mira intensified, the echo of his civilization's suffering became less distinct, tempting his very destiny in directions Jake had only dreamed of until then. He realized he needed to find a compromise before his beloved became just an echo of what he had left behind. The rhythm of his days soon expanded with a new urgency. The love between Jake and Mira became a beacon amid the chaos, but the reality of their interdimensional nature forced them to confront the truth. The society that depended on the misfortune of others was seeking new ways to sustain its cycle of suffering, and Jake could be the answer to that. He understood that his future was the key to the salvation of space-time, but this revelation came at a hefty price, sacrificing the happiness he had found with Mira. Over time, the temporal factions began to stir, each with its own desire to control the source of power that existed in Jake. He had become a target not only because of his gifts but also for what he represented. The love growing between him and Mira was a symbol of hope amid despair. However, time seemed to be running out, and with every moment, Jake felt the weight of decisions pressing down on his shoulder. It was in a moment of clear introspection that Jake decided he needed to confront the factions threatening to ruin not only his new reality but also the future salvation of his old civilization. He and Mira joined forces, connecting with allies willing to fight for a future where people would not need the suffering of others. The impending battle between these temporal factions would be more than a struggle for power. It was a fight for freedom and the possibility of a different world. Strategies were developed with the support of Mira, who became essential in manipulating time to balance the conflicting powers. At a decisive moment, when the battle erupted, Jake found himself again in a cycle of pain and revelation. He was forced to make a decision that would change everything: rush toward the source of suffering or preserve the life he had gained alongside Mira. Facing the possibility of sacrificing the happiness he had found, Jake realized that his love for Mira and his responsibility to his civilization were inseparable. He knew that his future was also a vortex where pain and love coexisted. At the climax of the battle, Jake made the most difficult choice of his life. He lunged toward the source of suffering, using all the power he had learned from Mira to close the portal that maintained the connection between the worlds. The battle culminated in an instant of pure emotion. As the portal closed, light consumed Jake and Mira, overflowing with love and pain, an echo of farewell that would persist across dimensions. Jake looked at Mira, and in that last moment, their connection transcended time, promising that their love would echo in all realities, despite the consequences of his choice. Mira looked at Jake with tears in her eyes, understanding the sacrifice he had made. And so, as Jake vanished, he carried with him the certainty that their love and memory would remain engraved in the stars for eternity.
The connection between Jake and Mira transcended dimension, proving that true power lies in the bonds we build. What if you could witness another journey where forbidden feelings defy fate? Discover another story that will hold you until the very last second. Click now.